Hello and welcome back to another episode of World of Warcraft Diaries of Death. My name is Syken and today we're continuing the Diaries of Death episodes where I am trying to do my best with a Frost Mage to not die because we're playing on a World of Warcraft hardcore server. I installed an add-on for your pleasure called Deathlog, and I'm not 100% sure yet whether or not it works, but point being is I figured that we're not seeing a lot of death messages. Not that I'm particularly enthusiastic or not about it, but it makes the whole thing a little bit more real. So far, I've witnessed 3 people dying personally, and 5 people made it to level 60, but in the background I was told that quite a few more died, mainly between level 1 and 10. So the whole 50% rule still seems to be accurate. We're just not seeing the people die. Secondly, I realized that since I just came back to World of Warcraft, there is an anti-bot program or measure in place where people that recently come back in the first 30 days of their time cannot trade with others, which I found hilarious because it now means I'm basically stuck to self-found, which also means we will need to be a bit creative of how we're going about it. Anyways, enough rambling for now. We're going to go and do the Prowler Clause. These death zones here, by the way, the color coding, that is something that the Deathlog brings. Basically shows where most people are dying. Not that it means much, it just means that there are popular quests and people just die more often there, but sometimes it can be a good indication as well. But what are the quests that we need to do? So Prowler Claws, then all the way up to the Harpies. That definitely would be worthwhile. Then we do have a couple of potential quests with Chen's Empty Keg. But we would need to get to that, and Ignition up here would be another quest. Down here, too risky. Stolen Silver might be something, and the Dried Seed might be something, and Varrock's Head actually might be something. So how about we're starting this side and then we're going down here? Sounds like a plan. All right, then let's fast forward into the action. Good. First step in today's episode are the Prowlers here. Let's see if we can pick them up. They should be around those trees. It is that ongoing quest line with more and more dangerous creatures that need to be hunted. There we go. Sitting nicely in the savanna heat. Yeah, we could definitely use some better gear. Spell power would be fantastic. Nice. Got minor strength enchantment, not that it will matter because my whole plan with the auction house has kind of gone out of the window because due to the bot protection you're also not allowed to use the auction house in the first month, which in return means I'm basically stuck with just dealing with whatever I find myself. So it might be not the worst idea to go for a couple of dungeons because that's a good source of just basic equipment. The Prowler quest works very well so far. Good. Let me finish that, and then we're off to the Harpy Lieutenant rings up there. I'll fast forward that again. Alright, fast forwarding, and we are in the middle of the next quest. So, we made our way all the way up to here, and we need to fight against the Witchwing Slayers, Harpies with warrior levels. And these guys are pretty nasty. Anything with Slayer in its name does have warrior levels, and as such, some of these creatures do have the ability to execute. So we can put 1 and 1 together, what that exactly means. The moment that you're dropping below 20% of your health, all of a sudden they get an extra attack, and that might indeed be an execute. Just how good the warrior ability is, it's got to show how dangerous enemies become when they do have that ability. So we need to be extra careful to basically not drop to low health. So we're going to, whenever possible, single pull. And when they respawn, we're going to take the respawn. This here is my exit route, so I'm now seeing that the respawns are kicking in, which means it's time for me to stay at the place that I cleared last, because I know that it's not likely that enemies are going to respawn there, and we're just going to instead kill the Slayers that I killed when we were coming into this place in the first instance. Good part about Slayers in particular is they neither have charge, which would be an awful combination, nor do they have the courage to fight to the very end, which is great because I can train a little bit my wand skill, because I randomly found a wand. It's not a great one, but it is a wand, and will allow us to basically keep damaging even when we're out of mana. So this is one of those situations where you don't want to have a second Harpy pulled, because they can very much resist your Frost Nova, and then all of a sudden you find yourself in a really, really tight spot. There are a couple of nests here that have multi-pulls. I don't fancy myself doing them because it's not needed. We can simply clear the area by mainly doing single pulls. What's working quite well so far is our freezing. I have seen quite often that these guys are now being frozen. It's a 10% chance, but it triggers very regular. And the moment that these guys are frozen, you do have a huge advantage. This here is bad news. Sister Rehashian. We don't want to do anything with her. She would blow us out of the water. So I do what I always do when an elite comes around, which is stay far, far away from them and pull other harpies in the meantime. Yeah, these patrolling elites, typically not a big issue when you are questing with two people, specifically if you're questing with a healer. But if you're all alone and the server isn't that populated, then there's also like nowhere where you can really run in order to seek help. And all of a sudden, these elites become way more dangerous. So, this is what we're going to grind. We need 6 of the Harpy Lieutenant rings. We got 3. I will continue to fast forward from here. Okay, we're back. Time to trade in a couple of quests. Typically I would do larger quest rounds, but the outpost here was on the way.
Zug zug. Dabu. For the Horde!
I think Serena Bloodfeather is... Yeah, Serena's head. Level 20, yeah, that's out of our league. Not happening at the moment. We're just going to do a couple of smaller quests and then we're going to be okay.
Go with us.
Eshiaki. That one was an interesting quest. You gotta call him near his lair up here and then give it a good go. Might as well do that quest also, as well as Vorok's head. Let's start with Ishiaki. Alright. My memory is a bit vague on this one. I distinctly remember you needed to call him here and then I think it was a single mob. There is another one, but that might not be... It might not be a follow-up quest where you need to create the right stench for him. We're going to see how it goes. It counts as a solo level quest, so I am assuming that it is not going to be too much, and we're relatively buffed. I'm trying to use our elixirs in order to offset just the overall lack of stats that I'm having. Currently, we're increasing our health a little bit, we're increasing the defense that we do have a little bit, and we're regenerating just a couple of hit points. It's not much, but it is better than nothing. So... Okay, level 16. Should be okay here. Couple of good hits. I don't even want to melee this guy.
I need to target something.
Yeah, that was straightforward. Fabulous. One down. A few more to go. We're going to nonetheless do the Oasis next and Verok the Dervish, both of which we can relatively easily reach. So let's do that next. Alrighty, so we traded in the Eshikati quest, got a follow-up for Sunscale Screechers, which we can do on our way to the next quest. Raptors are always fun to fight against. So unfortunately they are so common that it completely blocks the vision, which also means I need to kill them relatively quickly so that we can see the map again. Also, this here is the follow-up quest with the centaurs. So this is going to be great fun to fight centaurs. Good. We need to place these things in the raptor nests, as well as test the dried seeds. So both will be within this oasis. Now I'm just clearing the way because I don't want to run into trouble when or if we need to run from here. Good. Oases are always a little bit more iffy. Lots of mobs in a very short density, in a very small density. So just clearing them out.
That spell isn't ready yet.
Very good. So we need to visit the different raptor nests, but before that I need to test the dried seeds, which I think was on the ground of this very river. Good. Plan is we're going to go in. I definitely need to visit those nests. The quest tracker is making it very hard to see anything. Okay, well, at least the death announcements now work. So that's the first death that we've witnessed on stream. Level 18 Mage. Basically just as powerful as we were. Killed by a Gnoll in Silver Pine Forest. Which is where we wanted to go next. Go back next, should I say. Good, what we don't want to do is dive in there and then all of a sudden, like an idiot, find out, okay, we're now having a problem.
I can't cast that yet.
That's exactly what we don't want to do.
Isn't ready yet.
Good. Now, first attempt, let's dive under and see if we can find it. Fabulous. If I recall correctly, there was a follow-up quest for that. Good, and we're definitely going for the exit. I don't want to trigger any of the snapping turtles. I'll be moving to the nests, fast forward for you guys. So after a bit of maneuvering, we are now finally at the location.
I'm out of range.
It's always safer to sometimes just move and find a better way, even if it takes 2 or 3 more minutes, instead of just training a bunch of mobs through the entire region. That just doesn't make a lot of sense. And that's how people die. Besides, in that oasis that I've just shown you, there is an elite, which I've even marked off camera. But yeah, you don't want to run into that patrol either.
I can't use that item yet.
Really? Well, it's just better be safe than sorry. I got a hellstone just in case. But yeah, these Kolkar runners are a bit of a problem.
To cast that yet.
Very good. So next up, we're going to get yet another feather, because I think we only got 2, so we can't yet do that. All right, let me get the feather. And after just a little bit of grinding, we got the feather. And with that, the map should finally clear up quite a bit. Fantastic. We still got Verok's head, which is over here. Should take that, and I'll fast forward to him. Alright, we're at the location. Oh, wow, okay. Yeah, now the death alerts all of a sudden are popping in.
I'm out of range.
I think it just had been bugged before, because people are dying left and right. I was almost feeling like, wow, we had a close call. Maybe I'm the only one who is struggling, but that seems to be not the case. Although it isn't that hard, it is really just a matter of being super focused for an extensive amount of time, not making a lot of mistakes,
Get closer.
and reacting properly when you're making mistakes.
I'm out of range.
Do we have the key? No, we need to get the key. Alright, let me grind for the key real quick, and then we can get that stuff. Okay, took a little bit, but we got ourselves the key, which means we can now finally open the chest. Let's make sure we're not running into a respawn. And let's make sure we're getting the heck out of here. Oh, I didn't even need that. Oh, my bad. Well, Syken was loot greedy. Verloc's head. He should be here. Alright, let me read the quest. Good. It is basically saying we need to kill enough of the centaurs, and then an alarm will be raised and Verloc will be joining them. Which is all fine and dandy, but does not answer the question, when is he going to join? Good. I'll just continue to grind, fast forward, and let's hope we'll get him out. After a little bit of killing, look who has joined us. Verrock, the dervish.
Charging. Isn't ready yet.
And he went out just as fast as he came. Very good. Next up, stolen silver, I think. I'll just trade in quests for now. And then I'll go there because we're level 18. Might as well level up and take the safe route. Be right back. Perfect. So we're back from Orgrimmar. And we will go to get our first ring as a quest reward, which is fantastic. We need to get the Snapjaw shells and Herzul's head, both in front of the Wailing Caverns. It's going to be dangerous because that region indeed is quite dangerous. But there's a good ring as a reward, plus I was lucky enough to grab a buff from a friendly priest, so we're rocking 650 hit points, which is great. So let's fast forward until we can finally start fighting. Right, we reached the location. Time for us to clear away, like we're always doing. By the way, the level 18 spells really didn't help us a lot. There is a corpse of a player here. Wow. And look at that, we found our target. Let's try to pull him solo. Didn't fully work out because apparently you can't sleep and sheep at the same time. Oh, you can. Alright, this is going to be a problem. Let's try to unleash. Side strafing. Not running into the Wrangler. And we're good. Okay. All we need to do is loot his head and we're good. He did have 3 ads with him. I slapped one, sheep one, and he still had 1 more ad to go. Wasn't expecting that, to be honest, and I don't remember him having 3 ads, but okay. Good, we don't want to be hit by another nasty surprise, so let's just take out the enemies here. That's 1 down. And the problem is not so much just taking damage. That, of course, is a huge issue. The problem is also that against 4 targets, I simply do not have the necessary mana to go through all of the pull. That's unlucky. Alright, next up. We're going to go with the Oasis Snapjaw here. We need 8 of the altered Snapjaws, and what we're going to do is, as always, clear kind of the area where you would want to fight, and then move from there. This here is our exit, in case needed. I'm trying to keep that as clean as possible. And why is it that we're finding super good loot for heavier armor, but we only had found a pair of trousers for cloth? That's a bit disappointing, isn't it? Good. 1 more pull and then we're fast forwarding the rest for you guys. No need to sit around and see me grinding through Snapjaws. Perfect, so we finally have gotten our first ring. 3 agility, not that great, but 1 stamina is 10 hit points, and that may just make the difference. The rest of our equipment is just rubbish. Well, the hands are actually quite okay, and the pants, but yeah. that's the life of Self-Found. We are now going over to Sputter Vale here, because there are quite a few quests that I'd be interested to do. And to be fair, other than the stone and silver, there isn't that much down here, because this is all more or less a level 20 area, and whilst we could do that as level 18, it poses quite a bit of risk, and I wonder if that is really necessary. So we're just gonna go with the flow and do the normal quests, and maybe if we're level 19, then we're going to go to here. I'm still trying to find the Ragefire Chasm group, but it is not that simple, apparently. Unfortunately, that dungeon seems to be not attracting anyone, or people just don't know how decent the loot can be. Be it as it is, we are maybe needing to go into the Wailing Caverns as our first dungeon, but 18 is too low if you're playing hardcore. That does not sit well with me. Okay, cool. So fast forward until we're over here. Fabulous. So we made our way over here to Ratchet, and it's time to do a couple of quests, starting with the Raptor Horns. Then down here we got the Freebooters. We might want to start with them, actually. And then I would like to do that up here, which is a nice little quest hub that could give us maybe another level. So plenty of other quests. Unfortunately, our stamina buff went out, which means we're now left with whatever we can self-buff, which is okay for now. 450 hit points for a crappily equipped mage aren't too bad. Alright, fast forwarding until we fight. There we go, arrived. And unfortunately these guys are already a little bit low. Need to maybe focus on the ones that are still green. But yeah, it's going to be a straight up kill quest. I should have come here a bit earlier, but I prioritized other quests. Not optimal. The worst kind of gray mob is one that is just barely becoming gray because they don't yield any experience, but they're still, relatively speaking, tough. So if we can prevent it, I would like to not fight against them. Yeah, it pains me to see that some of the absolute crap equipment that is dropping here is still on par with what we're wearing. That gives you an idea just how badly equipped we are.
I need to get closer. Cast that yet.
For reference, the reason why I'm not using Frost Nova at the moment is there was yet another high-level rogue here, and I just don't want to give him any ideas. Alright, fast forwarding this one here because it's not going to be that interesting until we're hopefully done with that quest. Alright, so we have been through that quest line, and next up we're going to get the stone and silver, but also a couple of raptors. In order to do that, let's just regain our well-fed buff. 40 hit points are a lot at this point in the game, so I want to make sure that we at least self-buff ourselves adequately.
I need to get closer.
Cool, and apparently these raptors come in pairs of 2. Which is an absolute delight. Mainly because our mana is not necessarily keeping up with enemy hit points, as you can see. Fabulous. I was going to be so great to always go all out against 2 of the raptors. And these are even leveled mobs. I need to find a way of acquiring better equipment, potentially through group quests, because this year is going to suck in the long run. Start regretting slightly to not pick up tailoring, because that would of course be a solution.
I'm out of range. I need to get closer.
Because if you just look at their amount of hit points that they are having, there's only so much I can do. I need to kite them. We're basically banking on no resists. And that's not a great idea. I think we can still do it, but this is going to be a bit more intense than the other quests. Typically, you want to fight individual monsters, pull them, and then that is that. Unfortunately, with the raptors, it's not that easy. I mean, yes, you can get these individual wanderers, not a problem. But the ones in the nests are coming in pairs. And they are dealing enough damage to be annoying, so that you need to crowd control them. Some of the mobs are also linked. So when you leash one, you're effectively leashing both. I think that's the case here. I stand corrected. It is not. Otherwise that other raptor would have joined. Good. Let's just hope these guys are not respawning our way out, essentially just this canyon. So we want to make sure that that stays open. Right, slow down. Get this guy down.
I'm out of range.
And then wait for the other one. Rinse and repeat.
Need more mana.
See, that's exactly the problem. We are barely keeping up with two of them. Need to level my one skill just so that we do have a continuous source of damage. Good. Those are not three together, right? Single one. And then maybe two further of them.
Too far away. I can't use that yet.
Cool. This guy got frozen. Mana is unfortunately low.
That spell isn't ready yet.
Alright, cool. So, always eat up first. And then we're doing whatever we need to do and get the fuck out of here. This is not a great place where I want to stay for a prolonged period of time. There we go. Stone and silver claimed. Good. Luckily for us, we can just get the raptors somewhere else. We don't need to do them in pairs. Of course. The other one just respawns. If they're hitting us, they are just dealing too much damage. Alright, I'll fast forward. We'll get the last tooth and then we're off to our next quest. Okay, so we made it up here to the camouflage, where we're hopefully going to do a couple of quests. In the meantime, I'm also trying to get a group for Razorfang crowds together, because soon we will have out-leveled the place and Razorfang chasms, and it's maybe 18, 19 at max, and then we're out. So let's try to make it happen. I wanted to showcase a dungeon run for you guys. Oh yeah, and in the meantime, a druid has died. Since the reports are coming in nicely, I can see just how many people are actually dying. The answer is a lot.
Isn't ready yet.
Good. Over here, all we need to do is
Out of range.
get to the middle. And after that quest, I think I wanted to go to do ignition, or maybe we need to trade it in, and then the follow-up quest will automatically get us to ignition.
Charging.
I remember that that quest was pretty much on top of kind of an oil rig, right in the middle here. You can see it far, far in the distance. Good, and we need to get right here. Luckily for once we're fighting green mobs, so even mana is not a big concern. Very good. Let me continue, and I'll fast forward until we can... You know what? Maybe I don't need to fast forward. I think can already do it. There we go. Cool. So, I think there were like 3 handles, if I recall correctly, the different valves. Ah yeah, I remember the valves were over here. If you zoomed out as far as I am, sometimes getting a bit tough to see the details. Good, so that's number 1. That here is number 2. And that here is number 3. Good, couple of mobs spawning in.
Isn't ready yet.
Nothing completely unexpected. Let's finish the quest before before the whole area hyper spawns. All right. Now off to the console key, which I think the Tinkerer has, but the more important question is, where's the Tinkerer? I think he's right up there. Yep, pretty sure he's right in there. Good. And maybe the quest line is continuing here, and we will need to hand it in. And it'll lead us to the oil rig. That might be it. I'm not 100% recollecting every single detail, but I've done that quest so often, I should know by now. Gosh, my mage friend here is taking a lot of damage. If I use that as a reference, then we're actually doing well.
Isn't ready yet.
Good. Let me clear that and fast forward it for you. Off we go to hand in the quest. And what exactly do we need to do now? Serum of Ash. Just bring this stuff back. Oh yeah, return to Ratchet. But I know that we're going to come back. It's just a matter of time. Alright, off we go. Walking all the way to Ratchet to turn in the quests, but not before I get a couple of delivery quests for free. So let me do the quest trade-in and fast forward. Okay, so time to hand in our quests, and I also think I need to train a little bit.
I sure could use your help, kid. Hey there, just passing through?
So most of them are just intermediary quests. I don't expect that we're going to get a lot of rewards.
Time is money, friend! Glad I could help! Keep it real! Glad I could help!
Very good. Cool. Cloak with 3 stamina, that definitely is an upgrade.
Yo! Have a good one. Keep it real. Have a good one. Be good. Keep it real.
Fantastic. And we almost got our group together as well.
Hey, how you doing? Have a good one. Be good. Time is money, friend. Keep it real.
Fantastic. We finally got the Miner's Fortune. That's an important one. Yeah, that's an important one. And do we have anything else? Let me just sort the quest real quick. Okay, I think I finally got a group together. We have a tank incoming, and I will use that as a great option to end today's episode. Flying back to Orgrimmar, and next time we're going to do our first dungeon, which is going to be a lot of fun. So stay tuned for that, and see you in the next episode of Diaries of Death. Bye-bye.